Mr. Hartgrave here with the beginner's guide to Marvel Strike Force, but this video isn't just for beginners. I would say mid-game players, end-game players, there's probably some tips here for you too, because we're going to be talking about how to approach Marvel Strike Force today. And things have changed from 4 years ago when I started. So just some background on me, if this is the first Mr. Hartgrave video you're watching. I'm Mr. Hartgrave. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I've been playing this game for 4 years, and I've been doing it mostly free to play. I'd say I stopped all spending about a year ago. Before that, I was a very light spender, between $20 and $40 a month. If I spent $40, I usually skipped a month, averaging just around $20 per month. I've stopped that. I found that spending on this game doesn't really benefit you. You don't need to do it to even be in a top alliance. I've been in a top 20 alliance now for the last 3 years. Spent the first year kind of raising through the ranks, because without spending, you can't maybe get to the end game as fast. But this game kind of pushes you into end game content the longer you play it for. So I wouldn't stress out about it. And that might be like the first beginner tip, is you really don't need to spend money on this game. This game is free to play. You can find your level and stay there. You're not going to really be gated off from content if you don't spend money. So that's good news. All right. The next tip that we're going to get into is what to build. And that's probably the most important thing. That's what everybody wants to know. What do I want to build for these Dark Dimension modes? What do I want to build for these game modes? How do I go about, getting into this game? Where do I start? Okay, so let's get into this. And where we want to start, here, I got to move this down. I had this up here from another video. Yeah, come check me out on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Mr. Hartgrave. I am live every Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to come check out the latest and greatest, you can do it there. But if you're just starting this game before you're so down deep in the rabbit hole that you're listening to lunatics in business suits on Twitch, you are going to want to start with not the heroes campaign, not the villains campaign. Do whatever you can do on those. That's fine. Where you really want to focus your attention, though, is here on the Nexus. So the Nexus is going to be a little easier to get through as well, because you can use any characters to do it, heroes or villains. So that's going to help you progress through it. And the spot you really want to get to sooner rather than later, so that you can spend your energy in the right spots, farming the right characters, is the Nexus 4. And this is brand new information, okay? Just with this last patch, Wakanda got a rework and kind of changed the beginner team. There's a whole new beginner team that I'm going to tell you about, and a secondary team that you're going to go for, because now more than ever in Marvel Strike Force, different game modes have different priorities. It used to be we were really raid focused. This game was all about raids. I'm going to say this game isn't so much about raids anymore. I mean, raids are going to happen daily. It's going to be important for you to have a raid team, but it's not really the end game anymore. The end game are going to be your event campaigns. We got one coming up soon for Phantomix, and Scourge mode. Scourge mode is actually the most important game mode in the game. You can fight me down in the comments if you want to, other veteran players, but this is facts. All the best characters this year are going to be released through the Scourge mode. And to beat the Scourge mode, you're going to need a very strong in-game build. You're going to need in-game characters. And I'm not talking about the characters that are going to be featured. Like for this upcoming Scourge that we're about to hit into, it's Inhumans, Young Avengers, and A-Force. I'm not talking about them. You're going to need a strong global team. You're going to need a strong hero team. You're going to need a strong villains team just to overall do better. And then if you have some of those pieces of those other teams, you're going to be able to do a little better on those particular Scourge events that are coming out. There's going to be 4 of them, all with these different horsemen, legendary characters. But these events are going to keep reoccurring. And so the better you're set up, the better base you have of strong characters. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do. And maybe characters that you might be missing. Even you in-game players might be neglecting these characters. You might be chasing these new characters. And right now, there's never been a better time to skip the new meta and focus on the old meta. And that's what we're going to talk about here. The free-to-play old meta. That's what you want to focus on as a new player. Get what's free to play and be prepared to build what's coming tomorrow. The best team in the game hasn't been released yet. It's always the new thing. And focusing on strong characters for the Scourge is what's going to get you there. Okay, so what we're going to do to focus on that is we're going to unlock and level up to high levels. You can go all in on these characters. Someone was asking me, well, you have this great in-game guide, right? You have this great in-game graphic. Now I'm trying to find it. Okay, yeah, you got this great in-game graphic here. It shows you everything that you should be building. Where do I start with this? How many levels do I put on these characters? What do I do? And if you want to know more about this, I will link this video after this one. That's a next great start here and then go there. And if you want a direct sequel to this video, let me know down in the comments as well, and I'll make that and try to tell you what comes next. But what you want to do if you're a brand new player and you're just really starting and you don't have very many characters, even at tier 12, like someone was saying, should I build these to tier 11? These are characters that you really want to get to tier 13. And I'll tell you why. There's a reason why you want to do that as well. But here's where you start. Okay, Nexus 4, Squirrel Girl, Nebula, and Black Panther. This is your new beginner team. It's all right here in the Nexus 4. So that's really good. That's really great that they've done that. And it's because they've reworked Squirrel Girl to be in Young Avengers. Nebula is still a great part of Infinity Watch and just pairs really well with Gamora. That happened a while ago. It's still true. The thing that dropped off is Defenders. So if you're watching old videos, old content out there, even me, I was saying, hey, build Defenders. No more. We don't build Heroes for Hire. We don't build Defenders. They're kind of old news. The current meta characters that you want to be getting into are Squirrel Girl, Nebula, and Black Panther. Now, we can go a little further. If you beat this, you can also pick up Beast here. Beast is a great addition to your roster. He's on the Nexus 5. That's pretty great. Even better than Beast, because we're building into Black Panther, is on the Nexus 6. You can get Okoye now. Very good character to pick up and build. Okay, past this. Here's another good tip. When you're building these beginning characters, you got Black Panther. Black Panther is Mystic. That's excellent. We don't have a lot of good Mystic characters because you need a good Mystic character, because another great character, the next place you want to go isn't Cosmic Conflicts. You want to go over to Mystic Forces. And you want to get up to Mystic 2 so that you can unlock Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is going to be a great piece of the team that I'm going to recommend to you that you're going to need to take your roster to the next step, to get into the next part of this game. If you don't already have her, get her here. And to get her, you'll need to get Black Panther at this point. That's the best character. I would assume that a high-level Black Panther can just solo through these nodes. These are nothing. These characters are nothing in here. If you have an extremely built-up Black Panther, you're going to rip right through this. So you don't need to build up a whole bunch of Mystic characters. Basically just Black Panther. There's another one that I'm going to tell you about in a little bit that's going to pair really well with him. So you can grab him as well. Another thing to look out for, and this hasn't happened yet as the film, as recording this, but they're going to put Lady Deathstrike here on Mystic 3. I forget which node she's going to go on, but she's going to drop in here. She might even be, I think she might be replacing Loki. Anyways, Lady Deathstrike is going to come in here. She's also very good, and she's going to be a part of a secondary team that you're going to focus on. Be on the lookout for that. I'm very happy that Lady Deathstrike is going to be available for new players like this. So start working towards that. Start building up Black Panther. Really, this is like a build Black Panther now video. I can't say enough good things about Wakanda being a great team for new players. Okay, getting out of the campaign. So that's where you should be focused on campaigns. Where are we going to focus some of these currencies that we're going to get? We're going to talk about our Blitz currency. So you're going to build up Blitz currency playing this game. There's only one spot to spend it. There's one spot as a new player if you don't have her maxed out yet, and that's Gamora. before you do anything else with your Blitz currency, max Gamora out to 7 stars. She's still one of the strongest characters in the entire game. She's going to be an asset to you, and she's going to help you progress in this game. So Gamora all the way up, all the way leveled, and even in-game players. Here's that tip for in-game players. Tier 16 Gamora, Tier 16 Gamora, Tier 16 Nebula. They are still incredibly, insanely powerful in this game, and they're going to remain that way until the end, I think. I don't think they're going to drop off. They're really, really good. Infinity Watch is crazy good, but even just that duo, even if you don't have Infinity Watch cooking, having a strong Nebula and Gamora is going to help you in all these game modes that are coming out. Scourge Tower, Cosmic Crucible, strong Nebula and Gamora, all valuable there. Okay, so that's where you want to focus your Blitz currency. Now for your raid currency, this is going to be less targeted. You're probably going to get less of this depending on where you're at in raids, but there's only really 2 characters you want to pull out of here, and that's Zemo and Killmonger. They're both very important. They're both very important to the end game. So I would really let the gear come to you. At this point, when I'm in the end game, I got those characters maxed out, so I buy gear. And if you want to know about hoarding resources, I have a resource guide. I'll link that at the end of this video as well. You might find that useful. I know a lot of people like that. Zemo and Killmonger. Those are the only ones that are important. I know Cloak is in here too. Some other good characters are in here, but if you're a new player, if you don't have Zemo and Killmonger maxed out, get them maxed out. You're going to want them. They're going to be a part of like the next team you're going to need for your progression in this game. Okay, the next very important thing that you're going to want to do, and I got some good news on this, it's in the arena store. If you go down here, if you're getting arena credits, you might be getting them slowly, especially as a new player. You want to focus on M'Baku, and the good news is he's 500 credits now, but he's set to move. If you can't quite see it here, but yeah, Juggernaut is 350 credits. M'Baku's probably about to move over to that 350 credit mark. So that will be a huge help for new players and a very good thing to do. Get M'Baku, another good Mystic character. So if you're struggling in that Mystic section to get Miss Marvel, to get Lady Deathstrike, add M'Baku to your team, power him up, get him up to 7 stars, take him to tier 13, whatever you got to do. That's excellent. Now, why tier 13? Why do I keep saying that? And that's really your starting characters. And we'll recap all this as well, so don't worry. In Dark Dimension, you want to go over here and you want to get to tier 13 so that you can take this team I'm talking about, the team of Gamora, Nebula, Black Panther, Squirrel Girl, and Miss Marvel. Take them as high as you can. You can put all their resources in them because these are in-game characters. These are characters that I'm taking to tier 16. These are characters that I'm maxing out abilities on. Everything I have now is going towards them at my level, which is the end game. So new players, you can definitely put all your resources here, and you're going to want to because you want to beat Dark Dimension 2 and get Ultron. There's a lot of stuff out there. Maybe Ultron sucks. Maybe Ultron isn't useful. For a new player, Ultron is amazing. There's not a lot of villain characters available in the game. And the ones that are available, a good deal of them are tech villains, which plays into Ultron. And having a strong villain team is going to be hard for you to get as a new player. It's going to be hard for you to get into these Scourge modes, the higher levels of them, without a strong villain team. So getting Ultron is more important now than ever. And this team is going to just cruise right through this. This team is so incredibly powerful. Of Nebula, Gamora, Black Panther, Squirrel Girl, and Miss Marvel, it's going to make easy work of this. You're going to have an easy time doing this if you build this team. All right, so to recap all this, let's go ahead, head over here to the roster screen. These are the end game characters. These are the starter characters that will become your end game characters. So there's a lot of characters in the game, a lot of places to waste your resources. Don't do that. Spend your resources here. These characters aren't going anywhere. They're very solid in this meta. Wakanda is brand new to the end game, so they're going to be here for a long time. You are set if you build into these. Lady Deathstrike included. She's not in the game yet. She's coming soon. None of these new characters are very thrilling to me. Dazzler, Phantomix, Maybe Gambit, when he comes out, you can look to capitalize on that event and add him to your roster, but I don't really know. You're not going to have a lot of the other pieces that you need other than Beast. Like Beast and Gambit and Rogue, if you can somehow assemble that as a new player right now, is going to be very good for you. It depends on where you're at in the game, but that can be very good. We'll see how that progresses. And being able to get that, you're going to need these teams. Like to do well in the Scourge, to get a character like Rogue, you're going to need to have a strong hero team, a strong villain team. And here, let me go ahead and show you those teams as well, just to recap those. And then I have a few more notes for you as well. But here's that team up top. This is what you're going to use to get Ultron, is Miss Marvel, Black Panther, Gamora, Nebula, and Squirrel Girl. Now that's good everywhere else too. That's your raid team. This team is going to beat all kinds of content for you. This team is going to do well in any game mode. That's a fantastic team. And then then it builds out. So you're building Black Panther. Now you can get Wakanda. You're building Gamora and Nebula. Now you can work towards Infinity Watch. You're starting to build Young Avengers. So everything you put into these teams, these characters for this like hybrid beginner team, are going to be useful elsewhere as you progress through the game, as you unlock more pieces for this. And that's really that follow-up video that we can get into if you want to know how you're going to get the other parts of Infinity Watch, how you're going to get the other parts of Wakanda, Young Avengers. Make sure you like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments if you want to see that video. We can talk about the strategy on how to unlock that. But this team up top is going to get you this next team, this tech villains team, right? With Killmonger, with Nebula, with Ultron, with Zemo, with Lady Deathstrike. You have another team that you can get this is a second step team, right? But you can get this as a beginner that you can dump all your resources into. The sky's the limit. You can take them up to tier 13, 14, 15, 16. Whatever gear you have, you can throw onto them, and this is going to be useful. You're going to cruise right through the villains campaign, which can be a real challenge. You're going to get through a lot of content you couldn't get through otherwise, and you're going to do better in the Scourge mode because I'm using these characters in the Scourge mode to do better, using these characters in Cosmic Crucible. You can use these characters in raids. These are great characters. Another notable thing to go for, okay, kind of on the side, and you'll see it down here. This is a potential tower team I'm working on down here, is Mr. Sinister and Emma. You'll see him here. Mr. Sinister is available in the raid store, and Emma comes to you through the milestone orbs. So something to passively work towards as you progress through the game would be to get Emma and Mr. Sinister. They're also very good and villain characters, which are typically a little harder to come by. There are far less villains in this game than there are, especially in the end game. There's just far less villains. And two of the best ones are so hard to get in Doom, in Dormammu. Black Order is very hard to get, with Maw being very unobtainable. A lot of Darkhold being very hard to get a hold of. So there's there's good villains in the game. There's less of them overall, and a lot of them are very hard to get. So it's very important to be focused on good villains if you want to do well right now as a new player, because you got to focus on getting a strong villain team to do better in the Scourge mode. On top of whatever specialty team is needed, you're going to need a strong villain team. One place I even struggled doing the Scourge mode was in the villain section. I did much better once I got, Morgan Le Fay, which I don't know if you were here for that. If you didn't get it, it's going to make your life harder if you didn't get her, because she's like the best character in the game right now. So she's going to come around again, though. You're going to get another chance at that. And if you want to be able to get, more shards of Morgan Le Fay than less shards, it'll be better to have a better villain team than a worse villain team. So that is the bulk of my advice on this. I hope that it helped you as a new player. I know there's a lot of beginner's guides out there. A lot of them have, honestly, pretty crappy information in them. I tried to make this very clear for you so that you knew what to go after and which characters to focus on. If I haven't made anything clear, please let me know down in the comments if you feel this information's outdated. This should be pretty fresh. This is probably the best damn beginner's guide that is out there. Let me know if it isn't. I'm Mr. Heartgrave. You can trust me. And if you want to be a grave digger, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and keep digging.
myself, but myself keep slipping.